let me go to Professor Dr. Bandana Anwar. Professor Bandana, are you there? Bandana ji?
Just let me know if I am audible now.
Yes, you are audible.
So can you see this now? Is it visible? So you can let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, please carry on. But I mean, try to finish it. I mean, by 10 minutes, huh?
Sure, sir. I'll do that. A very good evening to everyone. Good afternoon, and also good morning to people who have joined from different parts of the world. This is Professor Dr. Vandana Pawar. I'm working as an associate professor with Prin Allen Ballinkar Institute of Management and Research, commonly known as V School. We have twin campus in Mumbai, Bangalore in India. And we are among the top 75 management institutes in India as per the Government of India and NIRF ranking, with a legacy of more than 40 years of management education in exploring international institutional tie-ups for its postgraduate program in rural management and other programs. We are also exploring tie-ups in the areas where we could mutually be beneficial in enhancing and strengthening the research, teaching, and learning environment of both institutions and other institutions. We have multiple full-time postgraduate programs in the domain of management, which includes general management, rural management, retailing, e-business, business design, business analytics, media and entertainment, and healthcare. So with that small introduction, I would like to start with my presentation on role of self-help groups in impacting or having impact on rural women empowerment. So we all know the concept of women empowerment. It gained traction in the second half of the 1990s. The United Nations Development Program, GDI, that is Gender Development Index, and the Gender Empowerment Measure, it assesses many dimensions of women empowerment, like adult literacy, life expectancy, income, gender disparity. And here the goal of GEM is to assess how actively men and women can participate in financial, professional, and political matters, as well as in decision making. So as we all know, the word empowerment, it's very tough to define. While I was working on this particular topic, I came across the definition that was given by the Oxford English Dictionary, which says to provide someone the authority or the power to do something, or to make someone stronger, more confident, particularly in the direction of their lives, or assessing their asserting their rights. And across different research papers, periodicals, journals, websites, also came across different definitions which talk about empowerment. Like there was one author in 2002, he explained it in terms of behavior and attributes, whereas there was other person who talked it and referred it in terms of process. There were other authors who also viewed it as a continuum of several interrelated and mutually reinforcing components. There were authors who have also talked about, like one of the friend was just now referring about maternity, which provided identification, protection, and autonomy to women, specifically in some of the states in India. So in India, we have a state called Kerala where it has been observed much more. There are other authors also. I would not go much in detail, but there are different definitions that has been shared and that has been described by different authors in the different papers, research reports, and also some of the government institutional reports and journals, which talk about as a power. It's talk about something that cannot be given to people, something which has a social, cultural, legal, political, psychological empowerment, something moving from a position of forced weakness to one of the authorities, and so on. So most of these authors, if you see, have emphasized on the ability to influence one's own well-being and making strategic life choices. And some of them have also defined women empowerment as a form of increasing knowledge that assists women in changing their perception and gaining abilities. So there are authors who have delved into details of voyage from women's right to women empowerment also. And it has also been described by different feminist schools of thoughts, which includes liberal, Marxist, radical, socialist, who have significantly contributed to the emergence of the concept of empowerment. Coming to the next important thing, which is which would be good to highlight over here, is the different indicators. What are the different indicators, or what are the different components that can be divided or classified as qualitative or quantitative measures? So when we talk about the quantitative indicators, which basically include your economic, social, culture, political, legal, and whereas the qualitative includes the women awareness or attitude or skills. So what does these indicators actually mean? So when we talk about this economic dimension of empowerment, which includes changes in the employment or unemployment rate of men and women, it also includes women's control over income, relatives' contribution to the family support, or control of family resources, women's access to employment. Right? Then coming to the social cultural measures, which are women's freedom to movement, lack of discrimination against the girl child, or commitment to educating daughters, or women's visibility in access to social spaces. All these are considered under the head of social cultural measures. There are also some of the legal awareness of the legal rights and the domestic assistance, which has been observed to be very important indicator, which includes community mobilization of rights or campaigning for awareness of rights or effective social enforcement of legal rights. And one of the friend, he just mentioned about the legal rights and different articles that has been mentioned in our constitution, and talks about the women empowerment. So women empowerment then also has a political aspect, which includes knowledge of political system and a means to access to it. It also includes the domestic support for political engagement or exercising the right to vote, women's involvement in the political or local political systems or campaign, uh, or maybe becoming a representative of women interest in effective lobbies or any other interest group. Apart from this, there are also certain psychological indicators that have been found, which includes self-esteem, self-efficacy, or psychological well-being, or potential for mobilization. In all these things, in qualitative, and apart from this, the qualitative, which includes the awareness. So here awareness is a very crucial in the women empowerment framework, because it indicates awareness about women's situation and discrimination. It indicates women's rights, women's opportunities, and what are the need for equality at all the different levels. When we talk about the attitude guides and behavior, it basically means how much we really like or dislike multiple activities. So, as we all know, a fundamental component of empowerment is the rejection of unequal entitlements accorded to individuals based on their gender. Right? Men have an advantage over women because of their unequal entitlement, accepting men's normatively prescribed power over the women, demonstrated disempowerment and things like that. Apart from the training and skill development has also been referred as an important qualitative indicator, uh, where it means having a clear clarity over the rights, and how to convert your challenges into initiatives that can be utilized or taken care by the women. After reading all the different articles and the material resources from the different secondary resources, we thought to conduct a study where we could summarize, and we can see that out of the different stakeholders who are part of the women empowerment, one of the very important stakeholder is the self-help group. So as we all know, self-help groups are informal groups of people who come together to solve their some common problems, focusing on individuals or helping each other. Today, we have seen SSGs or the self-help groups, they play an essential role in poverty alleviation, and they are also a vital agents for rural development, specifically in India. They help in achieving sustainable economic, environmental, and social changes. And with the challenges of limited access to credit or healthcare or education, they are actively participating in savings and debt or monetization or resource management or literacy, childcare, etc. While conducting a study, we thought of concentrating on Kerala, which is one of the state in India, and it also ranks first among the Indian states in terms of the human development and associated indicators. So we saw that the Kerala is an appropriate example, and it can be taken as a model for the South during the United Nations conference in the year 1994. The women in India, in Kerala, are often regarded to have a greater status than their counterparts in the compared to other states in India. And Kerala is also at the top of the list with the literacy rates of 96.2% of literacy. So in Kerala, we have one such self-help group that has been impacting millions of women in Kerala with the name of Kudumshri. So Kudumshri basically means well-being of the family. It's a state poverty reduction objective which was launched by the Kerala government to eradicate absolute poverty from the state. It was launched in 1998 by the then Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. It has an objective of a very holistic, collaborative, female, innovative poverty reduction approach, which was implemented through local self-government. So when we studied about Kudumshri, it consists of a three-tier female community network, which consists of the neighborhood, the area development societies, and the community development societies at the local government level. And there are various programs that have been implemented by Kudumshri with a mission to include microfinance activities and other programs or schemes that have been launched by the government. So the three different key sectors where Kudumshri has really made a good effort, a commendable effort, includes your economic empowerment, social empowerment, and women empowerment that has been designed and implemented throughout by the community network. So the objective of doing this study was to understand the reasons why people or women join the SHGs or the Kudumshri, and what is their contribution.
Please check the time.
Sure, sir.
Dr.
Sure,
Vandana,
sir.
please check the time.
Sure. The second reason was to investigate what are the different rural women's empowerment components of rural empowerment, which basically included awareness level, attitude towards self, gender issues, skill attainment, women autonomy, participation in public domain. So with these attributes and components in mind, we started with the study. And after conducting the study, we investigated that these five components were very much involved, and we also looked at the long-term impact of Kudumshri on the SHGs. We did a study through the field survey and the personal interviews, which were conducted with the Kudumshri members. We had different dependent and independent variables, which are part of any research that we normally do. So the research shows that education as the most important single variable in our analysis. It is intimately linked to all the aspects of empowerment, including participation, women are well informed about empowerment programs. They have a very high level of
can you hear
autonomy.
me right now?
Yes,
Madam, can you hear me right now? Yeah. I just wanted to ask you, so because you're from Assam, right?
no, I'm not
I'm
from
sorry,
Assam.
you're from which state, madam?
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can I just finish and then we can take this question? Just give me a minute. I'll come back to you. Yeah, thanks. So we were talking about the education as a most important variable in our analysis, and it was also seen that the women were well informed about empowerment programs, and they have a very high level of autonomy in their families and in the society, and also they have a very excellent control over the resources. But this increased level of knowledge was not visible, or can say was not translated into the behavior changes or skill acquisition or increased engagement. Being a member of the SHGs, they were provided with a rural that were part of the rural villages. They were having all the facilities of sustainability in the form of changes in their food intake or financial stability or even access to credit and things like that. And also we observed that during a pandemic, these members, they worked with the local government to provide meals through subsidized restaurants or community kitchen or also home delivery services. And they were also sewing masks for the frontline institutions and small businesses. They also ran awareness campaign to combat social isolation through youth, and also provided online education. So throughout this study, the analysis shows that yes, the SHGs really played a very significant role in the life of women, and so especially those who are a part of or member of the SHGs, and it acted as a change agent. With that, I would like to end this session. Thank you.
Thank you very
So
much.
just one sentence I wanted to ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, you belong to Kerala or Assam?
Neither of the two states, ma'am.
Neither of the two states, all right. But I know that Kerala is doing very well. That I know. I know in terms of the mortality rate as well as the, how children are being fed. So I wanted to know, because I see from what I've heard from you, I sort of understand that you also know about the nutrition value that children actually receive when it comes to a supplementary nutrition program that has been divulged by ICDS in terms of women and child development. And what I've seen in Kerala is such that they would actually
I think,
use a
ma'am, please
local...
specific question. Otherwise, it is a time consuming. We are
Yeah, it's
running.
just a question.
Ma'am, I've shared my
Just one
details on
question.
the, I've shared my details on the slide. If you want, we can
Ah,
connect it separately instead of taking other
sure,
time.
sure.
If
All
you,
right,
yeah, you
then.
can
All
note down
right,
my
all
number
right. Then
and details, and we can take it.
we can connect after. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you
Yeah.
so
Sure.
much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Can you stop sharing, Bandana madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.